Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and we are starting our inaugural. What am I calling this? Actually, this is the Wednesday night Chinese takeout. How about that for creativity, huh? Wednesday night Chinese takeout. I even had Chinese for lunch today to get me in the mood. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the Shanghai index. I'm going to do this every Wednesday, by the way. I thought it might be kind of something kind of different. I'll break it up a little bit, and we can kind of focus on China, and thought it'd be kind of fun. So let's take a look at the Shanghai index. Um, it's breaking out here. Let me make sure we got this day. Yeah, the 4th, so they're a day ahead of us. But you know that was today's action, or their today's action. So I think it's starting to break out of this long-term downtrend line, and that's a real positive. Now it needs to get above. Let me get rid of the crosshairs. It needs to get above this point. That's why I've got this resistance line here. Get above this point to kind of prove itself that it is truly going, so we get a higher high, in here. But it is looking good, I think. And I like the way, we've got the 10 above the 20. They're starting to trend higher. And so that's starting to look good. We've got DI plus above DI minus, and we're not seeing any negative divergence or bearish divergence on the RSI. So right now, this looks like it's starting to break out. And I just saw the volume. Volume, nice volume, 2 out of the last 3 days in here. So we could have some movement here on the Shanghai Composite. It could be tying in with after that big, can't remember what they call it, like a big forum or something that they had that they do every 10 to 15 years. All of it could be starting to kick in now as everybody was kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. We'll see. I don't know. I want to take a look at some of the technology stocks. Let's start off with Baidu. I want to get right into this. I think Baidu has completed 5 major, what I'd call primary waves up, and so therefore I'm looking for this to be kind of a corrective. And this intermediate wave here, 5th wave, it's kind of doing a kind of a complex triangle of some kind in here. And here's a resistance point. Even though the 10 is above the 20, I'm very cautious on this, because when it starts to get into this kind of correctiveness, choppiness, you get this zigzag motion. I'm not seeing 5 waves here. I'm only seeing 3 waves. Okay, that's not a move, and this is kind of overlapping with this. Okay, so that makes me concerned that we are, looking at some kind of little corrective move here that's terminating, and it's going to kind of break back down through. That's my caution, and the reason I counted 5 waves is because when you look at this on a longer term, this is what you're looking at. Let me flick to the weekly, and you can see it a little bit clearer, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th wave. And many times the 5th wave is not nearly as powerful, and sometimes we'll barely get by the top of the 3rd wave. So that's what I think we're looking at on Baidu. So I'm a little cautious there. Think we're in the termination area, at least for the short term. Let's take a look at Sina. Sina, on the other hand, looks to me like we are in the 4th corrective wave and maybe getting ready to complete it. Okay, and the thing I like about down here is we're potentially setting up to break this downtrend line. Now I want to see the blue get above the gray. I want to see the 10 above the 20. Okay, because nothing seems to happen until that occurs. Okay, you don't get the movement until I see that kind of turn up. And so even though it's breaking up in here, that would be my caution. But I still like the fact that I think we've got 4 waves, and we got another 5th wave coming on Sina. Let's take a look at Quahu. Quahu 360. Quahu's the competitor to Baidu. They're trying to take market share from Baidu. And Quahu is also, I think, kind of like Sina, at the end of a 3rd wave here. 3rd intermediate wave, I'm calling it. And within the 3rd wave, it was very extended. Okay, so they had this 5th wave that got very extended. That's why I was looking for a very sharp correction back down to at least this area down here, and for sure to the 200-day, and then even maybe below it. But we haven't received it yet. But we are still in this choppy corrective motion. And you never know what these corrective things could turn into, and you don't know how long they're going to last. So I'm very cautious on this. The red line I've got here just means that I was seeing divergence in this area. And so that's why I just put that the price was going to a higher high while the divergence was showing up. So that was negative, which told you that this fifth wave was ending. Divergences usually happen in the fifth wave. Okay, let's go on to Dang. Dang is one I haven't really looked at before until this evening. And Dang actually looks like it may be getting ready to go. This is a lower price stock. I'm not sure if I'd mess with it for options. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the options on this thing. But if you look at, it started out, looked like it got an initial public offer back here, traded down the whole time, has bottomed out. I think Dang is, I'm trying to remember now. I wrote it up in my notes. Yeah, Dang is like the Facebook, I believe, of the Chinese market. So, it kind of struggled. Now it's coming down 1, 2, 3, 4, it completed one wave. I think we've just done a big corrective, a flat, what we call a flat corrective wave. And I think second wave then is completed and we're starting off. Now, we're getting the blue above the gray, okay? And, this actually looks like this may be at the close today a great entry. And, you just have to watch it, but it looks good to me, and it looks like it's about ready to break that that downtrend line. Let's see. The next one is Yoku Tudu, which is the YouTube, as I mentioned, the YouTube of China. This looks like it's completed 3 waves. The interesting thing on Yoku, it does look like it did a diamond bottom in here, okay? And so therefore I'm counting up 1, 2, and then this third wave had 5 minor waves in it. And this looks like the fifth wave's completed. So that's why I think we're in a corrective action here. And now if it breaks above here and closes above this dotted line, then I might turn around and say, well, okay, maybe we do have another push going on. And maybe wave 5 really didn't complete, and therefore the third intermediate wave isn't complete. That would be my my only thing here. But other than that, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 waves. 3 waves is not an initial push up. You need 5 waves to show that you've got an initial move. Okay, so this makes me think it's kind of in a corrective action still, very similar to the other one that we showed. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Cena. C-Trip. C-Trip. So C-Trip is like the Priceline or the Expedia of China. Everything travel related. This looks kind of interesting also. This looks like there's a lot of price action before this, but it's kind of bizarre. I don't know which way, it looks like big 1, 2, but then, the fourth wave can't overlap the first wave. So I'm not sure what that is. And I can't believe that this is all just a corrective action. So I just said, well, let's just label this 0 and say we're starting from here. And I think we had 5 waves up. Let me go back to this. And the first wave is kind of what we call a diagonal, leading diagonal wave. And then we got a wave 2 corrective action, a wave 3, 4, 5 for the first primary wave, this first primary. Now we're getting this correction down here, and I think we're almost complete. I think there's a good chance now we'd have to watch. What we want to see is some upward movement and get the blue above the gray line. So looking for a turn here on C-Trip. I would not buy this yet. It's still in somewhat of a downtrend, but that's pretty much it for this evening. Quick tour of the technology stocks, and next week we're going to get into another sector. I'm thinking about casinos related to their gambling interests in China. So anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow evening. Have a great Thursday. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart.